last time. We need to go to /dashboard/create. Okay, we'll log in again. Something that might want to be debugged before your project is why it keeps logging us out. So test with form, testing with form, create post, takes me back. So it did everything I wanted, and did it do this? Sure enough, did. So this is the power of just using forms, and the back end, right? Your server is kind of just doing all the heavy lifting of JavaScript work. So this makes this process really easy. Okay, now for the dashboard, let's get all of our actual forms. So dashboard routes. Let's get all of our forms, right? We want to, we'll wrap it in try catch, but first, const post equals await post dot find where the user ID equals our current user ID. Great. And then let's pass in those posts. Then we'll go inside of our admin all, and we won't just throw one post. We'll go ahead and say each post. Did we call it post or posts? Posts with an S. Each post as posts. Let's make sure we're doing that right. Handlebars each. Each people, but then how do we change the name, right? Each paragraphs with each person's as, there we go. Each post as bar post bar. Looking good. And then each post is post. We're going to use our post partial, right? Oop, I already see a problem with our naming conventions, right? So let's call it user post, right? And we're going to use the post partial. And let's look at partials. We're going to need to pass the partial. Custom data can be passed to partials through hash parameters. Parameters equals. Okay, I don't know if that's totally required. So let's try this. And then we're going to say user post dot title, right? Dot title. Then instead of lorem, we'll say user post dot body. Author will say user post dot user name. That'll be an issue, but we'll talk about it in a second. User post dot created at. Okay, let's take a quick look. And this turned off, failed running server.js. Post.find is not a function. I think I need to use find all. And did we restart? We sure did restart. Okay, so cool. Looks like we're not getting any data though, right? And so I think that's because we need to pass data into the partial. So pass data to partial handlebars. So there's the partial. Ooh, look at this. You can just give it the context, or you can specify specific parameters. So we actually just want to give it the context. We could go ahead and just give it everything, this. So let's try again. No, we're still having issues. The handlebar 66 parameters, we got the context for the partial. We don't need to pass this. Let's console log. Let's log it out, right? That's the when in doubt plan. Console.log posts. Let's make sure we're getting some posts here, right? Restarting because just it wasn't working. Not totally sure why, right? You could always debug things later. Okay. Let's see, knit graphis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Look at this. It looks like we're getting a whole bunch of stuff, right? Post, data values, all this interesting stuff. So we're getting the right info, but it's hidden away in these data values, right? So we want to find all, and we want to do two things. Let's handle both right now. We don't just want the user ID. We want to include the user. So let's do that. Let's tab this out a little bit so it's a little bit easier to read, and let's add an includes. And then we're going to include model user. There we go. And then attributes username. That's good enough, right? We don't need the password, obviously. We don't need anything else. So let's save that. And then let's also figure out why we're getting these weird data values. So sequelize post or data values. I think it's dumb, and I think we've done it before. Would return just the data and not the model instance. Raw true. Gotcha. Get plain. That's the one that we've been using in class. So let's try that. Take a look. Okay, looks like we're ready. Post.findAll.get is not a function. So I think what we were doing is we were saying post data is fine, and then const post is equal to post data dot map. Looks good. So we're going through each post data, and for each post we're just getting the plain data. We're not getting any of the fancier stuff. So let's see, restarted, let's refresh. Okay, we're good. We have the post, that is looking correct. We have the user, okay, but we're still not getting it into our partial, right? User post dot title. And it seems to me that it should be user post dot title. So let us try seeing what we need to do here. We might be doing our each wrong. Where are we going? Let's look it up. Partial each. Let's look at this Medium article. I like it. Get a memory refresher. Partials. Not a great article. Let's see. So handlebars partial this. So this makes sense. An inline partial. So we're looking for something that has to do with parameters. Not give us a whole bunch there. I mean, let's look at the documentation. It didn't seem like it's giving us a whole lot either, but you know, maybe this just doesn't exist, right? Because if I look at this, my other context, it is possible to execute partials on a custom context by passing in the context to the partial call. So this. So if this works, then we should be changing this to post, and it should work, right? Let's try. Nope. Okay, so I guess what we're looking at here is posts now becomes the new, this becomes the new context, and you don't even need to use the original one. We definitely talked about that in class, but that's a good refresher for me. So now we have the body. This one's a little bit difficult, right? But it's actually user.username and then created at. Okay, cool. Now Chad gave us a helper, right? He gave us this format date helper. So we're able to use a handlebar helper like so. Not built-in helpers, not hooks, block helpers. Interesting, these are cool to read through. Handlebars, custom helper, just looking at the syntax. I think it's just spaces, but so format date and then give it the info. Let's try it out. Format date and then give it the info. There we go. So this is cool. So now we have 3 posts, right? And maybe we want to order it where this most recent post goes to the top. Let's do that right now. So if we reorder this, then I want to sort it somehow. So let's try sort. Created at descending. It doesn't like sort, I guarantee you. Let's try restarting. It does not like sort, it seems. Or maybe it does. Maybe I just need to do ASC. Let's Google it. Sequelize sort. Sort. Order by. Excellent. Order. Beautiful. Order. And I think ascending. I always forget. But doesn't hurt to just try. Okay, let's try DESC. Sending. There we go. Now, create a post. My newest post, testing my newest creation. There we go. And so it redirects us after we've already made our post and updated in the database. And so when we get the new information from the database, it's being put there. Awesome. So I think this is good. We could obviously play with the CSS, which could be fun, but I think that this will get us started. Let's take a look at a couple things. First one is what I would say is the power of HTML when it comes to the server rendering of JavaScript. So let's take a look again at our creating a new post. We have no JavaScript on this page at all.